In the annals of history, tales of war and diplomacy weave intricate webs of alliances and enmities. While the American Revolution is often depicted as a struggle between the British Empire and its rebellious colonies, another story unfolded behind closed doors. This lesser-known narrative involves two unlikely actors operating in the shadows, France and Spain. These European powers, driven by their own strategic interests, played pivotal roles in undermining British authority, altering the course of history in ways that resonate to this day. Our tale begins in the late 8th century, a time when empires clashed on a global stage, competing for supremacy in trade, territory, and influence. Great Britain, emerging formidable after the 7 Years' War, held dominion over vast territories across North America. However, discontent simmered within her American colonies. High taxes, lack of representation, and restrictive trade practices fanned the flames of rebellion. The colonies yearned for independence but faced an uphill battle against the might of British forces. Enter France, a long-term rival of the British, with fresh scars from previous conflicts. The French saw the American rebellion not just as an opportunity to weaken their adversary, but as a chance to regain prestige and territory lost in earlier skirmishes. The decision to support the colonies was not made lightly. Louis XVI's France was financially stretched, yet the prospect of turning the British Empire's aspirations into ash was too enticing to pass up. In a series of clandestine moves, France began to extend a hand of support to the American cause. Supply, weapons, and funds quietly made their way across the Atlantic, masked by a veneer of neutrality. But more significantly, French diplomats worked tirelessly to forge a formal alliance. In 1778, that alliance materialized, marking a turning point in the Revolutionary War. With French military and naval support, the balance of power began to shift. Famous French officers like the Marquis de Lafayette emerged as heroes of the Revolution, their coattails brushing the blood-stained soil of battlefields. Yet, to truly comprehend the dynamics at play, we must not overlook Spain, France's Bourbon ally, entering the fray with calculated discretion. Though Spain initially hesitated to provoke direct confrontation, it had long-standing grievances with Britain, especially concerning territories in the Americas. The Spanish monarchy recognized that British defeat could reclaim their hold on lands lost, particularly around the Gulf of Mexico and Florida. Spain's approach was multifaceted. She provided financial loans and secretly funneled supplies to the American colonies through ports like Havana and New Orleans. More audaciously, Spain launched military campaigns against British holdings in the West. Under the leadership of Bernardo de Galvez, Spanish troops captured key British forts in present-day Louisiana, Alabama, and, in a decisive victory, Pensacola. These efforts not only divided British attention, but weakened their strategic position throughout the region. The collaboration between France and Spain, while discreet, was undeniably effective. The Spanish campaign in the south sowed confusion and drained resources from British forces already stretched thin across the colonial landscape. France's direct military involvement, particularly in naval engagements such as the Battle of the Chesapeake, curtailed British maritime superiority, paving the way for the decisive American victory at Yorktown. Behind the scenes, diplomacy played an equally crucial role. French and Spanish envoys adeptly navigated the corridors of European power. Their adept manipulation of alliances and treaties ensured that the continental picture remained favorable to the American cause, while simultaneously safeguarding their own imperial interests. France, determined to position itself as a European leader post-war, sought both revenge and the restoration of its standing among European nations. Spain eyed territorial gains and the consolidation of its holdings. As the smoke of war subsided and the ink dried on treaties, the consequences of France and Spain's covert support were palpable. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 not only recognized American independence, but redrew boundaries and altered geopolitical equations. Both France and Spain achieved some of their aims, extracting concessions from Britain and reshaping the global order to their favor. In reviewing this chapter of history, it becomes clear that the American Revolution was not just a tale of colonial defiance. It was a complex mosaic of international intrigue and calculated power plays. The secret alliance of France and Spain epitomizes the intricacies of 18th century diplomacy, a world where empires both collided and conspired to redefine their futures. In this confluence of ambition and pragmatism, the British Empire was dealt a blow from which it would never fully recover. Perhaps the true lesson lies not only in the battles fought, but in the hidden hands that orchestrated the symphony of war. The shadows cast by France and Spain's strategic moves serve as enduring reminders of the power wielded by those willing to ally behind the cloak of secrecy.